welcome back to Middle-earth Gaming, and in today's video, as you guys can see, it's a little bit different. We're going to be doing another how I paint video. I know I haven't done these in quite a while, so apologies about that, but of course, as you guys know, we're going to be doing our Battle Games in Middle-earth series very soon. And to do a bit of a concept of the painting part of that, I thought I'd put out a few of these, and there's a few of these that I've been meaning to put out for quite a while, and a lot of them are some models that you guys have asked me how I paint them. So we're going to start off today, and today's test model is an Easterling captain. So a few people have been asking how I paint my Easterlings, you know, that muted gold color as you see in the two towers. So we're going to start off with this guy. I also have a few plans to do a few other characters, so if you guys would like to see anything, do let me know in the comment section below. But also do let me know, because like I said, this is going to be a bit of a concept for the Battle Game series, and this is how I'm going to start doing all my painting stuff. So do let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. But let's get straight into it. So it has been base coated, it has been primed with Chaos Black spray from Citadel, and we're going to start off with Bugman's Glow, and that's going to go over all of the skin. So we have the little faceplate here. It doesn't matter if you get over the armor, because we're going to go over that with the gold anyway. And under the chin here, there's not really a lot of skin on this model. Now with that Bugman's Glow applied, we're going to use Cadian Flesh Tone and just do a layer all over the skin. Now again guys, it doesn't matter if you get over the black bits here, because you can always go back over it with a bit of black. And really, if you don't really want to do the face, you can just leave it, really do like a dark color in there instead. Doesn't really matter. I'm just showing you what I do with all my Easterlings. And now with that Cadian Flesh Tone applied, we're going to use Reikland Flesh Shade and just go all over the skin and give it a nice shade. And now with that wash or dry, we're going to use Kislev Flesh and just do a very short dot highlight on the skin. Because there's not much skin here, we don't have to do too many layers to achieve good effect. And now with that dry, guys, you can see that I've actually done the eyes as well. So it's just a drop of Pallid Witch Flesh and then a drop of a Baton Black or a dark brown. It really depends, up to you. But now the eyes have been done. And it's really, it's a lot easier than you think. I'm not too great at doing eyes, but it's a lot easy. It's quite easy just to fix it up by using the basic skin tone. So you can easily fix it up there. But now that the face is done, let's move on to that glorious golden armor. And like I said, we're going to be doing a bit of a more muted tone, as you guys see in the two towers. So we're going to start off with a base coat of Runelord Brass. And this is going to go over all the armor on the model. Taking care to, when you go around the face, just to be a little bit careful. You don't get any paint on the parts that you've already done. Switching to a small brush if you need to. Do a thin layer. If you need to do 2 thin layers, guys, you might have to do 2 thin layers as well. So on the helmet, the greaves, on the shoulders, nothing really on the back here. Just make sure you do a nice even layer all over the model. And now with all that brass all applied and dry, now we can finally start to do some washes. And this is what's going to really dull down the gold. And we're going to start off with a good heavy wash of Agrax Earthshade all over the armor. Just all over. Nice, good. You don't want, don't worry about you get it. Just make sure you don't get any pooling. If you do see some pooling, just wipe off your brush and just dab it off. Just make sure you get a nice even coating all on the model, like that. Alright, and now that the wash has been dried, you can see it's brought out the armor really nicely. It's dulled it down really nicely as well. Now we're going to use a 50-50 mix of Runelord Brass and Canoptic Alloy, and pretty much just layer over all the armor, just leaving the Agrax Earthshade wash in the deepest recesses. It goes all over all the armor, all over the plates, leaving the little groove that you guys can see there in the helmet. We're gonna leave that piece. Just take your time, working section by section. Alright, and now that mix has been dry, that highlight is now dry, we're going to go on to our next highlight. And it is our final highlight. It is now pure Canoptic Alloy. And we're just going to paint this, as you guys can see, right on the edge of the armor plates. Being quite careful here. Going around all the armor. Just that fine edge highlight. Get that little reflection off. And what you can do at this point too, if you think it is a bit too bright, you can move on to you can do a thin down wash of Nuln Oil just to kick it back a little bit, as I have done. Now with that highlight applied, now the armor is done and it looks pretty damn sweet. Like I said before, if you wanted it to look a little bit less shiny, you can always add like a thin down black wash, as I have done. Otherwise, you know, you can always add or more highlights if you want to, put adding more Pallid Witch Flesh to Canoptic Alloy if you want to go up a little bit brighter. But now that we are done with the armor, we're going to work on the red now. And my original red was actually quite bright, but I've recently just gone down to a bit of a darker shade of red that really doesn't really use much red at all. But now we're going to start base coating the red, and the first paint we're going to use, we're going to base coat all the red cloth with Doom Bull Brown. Just getting it all wherever you want it to be red. And depending how much red you want, guys, you can always add more or less, depending how much you want. And just a nice even layer of Doom Bull Brown all over the red. just like that. And now that Doombull brown is now all applied, as you guys can see, it's all over the red wherever you guys want some red. And if you guys just want, you know, less red, put it less in less areas. Really depends up to you how you want your Easterling to look. But now we're now going to wash all that red with a, well, not with a mix, but we're going to start with 2 washes actually. The first will be a wash of Agrax Earthshade, and then after that, once that is dry, we're going to do a nice even layer of Nuln Oil after that. So we're going to start off with Agrax Earthshade, and all we got to do here is do a nice even layer all over that red. If you guys see any pooling, you can always just wash off your brush and just dampen back up and just spread it out nice and evenly. Just a nice layer of Agrax, and then once this is all dried, make sure it's thoroughly dried. We're then going to do a layer, again another layer of but this time with Nuln Oil. And now both those washes have dried, we're going to do a first layer of pure Doombull brown, and missing the deepest recesses, we're just going to layer over all of that cloth. Missing all the deep recesses. Just taking your time. And now with that first layer down, we're going to now start with the highlights. And the first highlight we're going to do is a 50-50 mix of Bugman's Glow mixed with that Doombull brown layer. And we're going to carefully just do a little edge highlight on all the cloth. And what this does is that it brings out a subtle redness, because Bugman's Glow does have a bit of red in it, so it brings a bit of redness out. Doombull brown's got a little bit of red in it, and brings out a subtle redness that you usually don't see with Easterling armies, but it works with the muted gold with a bit of muted red as well. So not having much paint in your brush at all. You can always add more, you can't take it away at this point. And now with that all laid over, we're now going to take pure Bugman's Glow as a final edge highlight and make it tighter and thinner. We're going to do a bit of a thinned down version of Bugman's Glow, just to the very edges of all those highlights. Not too much in your brush at all this time, guys. Just nice and thin. All around the model, just to really accentuate those highlights. And with that final highlight of Bugman's Glow, the red cloth is now done. As you guys can see, the model is, you know, almost complete. There's only a few other sections to go. So I'm going to start off with the black cloth, as well as the haft on the spear or the glaive, what do you want to call it there. As you guys can see, we've got a nice muted tone on our Easterling now, which is great. And we're going to continue that by starting off with the black cloth, and any black areas you want to do with Corvus black. So again, as always, a nice thin down layer, base coat over all the black, leaving the boots. And now with all that Corvus black applied, what we're now going to do is take some Nuln Oil and do an even layer wash over all the black. Making sure it's nice and even. Like that. Now with that Nuln Oil shade dry, we can now start on the highlights. And the first highlight we're going to do is a 50-50 mix of Corvus black and Eshin grey. And what we're going to do is going to start highlighting up all the black areas, doing a nice fine highlight. There will be a few extra highlights after this, so you want to make sure that you have enough room for them as well. Just take your time, not too much paint on your brush. And slowly and carefully go around all the model. Like this. Alright, and with that first layer down, we're now going to do a fine highlight of pure Eshin grey. Just going all over the black cloth. Taking our time as always. Until it's all applied over. And so with that first highlight applied, we're going to use our final highlight, and it's going to be a 50-50 mix of Eshin grey and Dawnstone, and we're just going to do a very fine edge highlight over all the black details. Making sure, again, to keep our highlights nice and tight. Paint nice and thin. Just like that. And with that final highlight for the black cloth, we are actually pretty damn close, guys. We only have two other things to go. And the first one is going to be the boots, or his shoes. And we're going to start with a base coat of dried bark. Just all over the shoes. Nice and simple here. You can see he's definitely coming together now. Now we're going to use a 50-50 mix of Dryad Bark and Baneblade Brown and just do a quick highlight on the boots. And with the boots done, there is just one more thing left, and it is the silvers. And on this model, it's quite easy because it's just this part here. So we're going to start with a burst coat of lead belcher. Just a nice, even layer all over the weapon. And now with that lead belcher all applied, we're going to apply a wash of Nuln Oil all over the silver. And with that wash finally dry, we're going to do one final highlight, and that is with Runefang Steel all over the silver details. And so with that, our Easterling captain is done. Now, as you guys know, I've done quite a lot of Easterlings over the past year and a bit, so this is nothing new to me, and it's quite a simple scheme, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys did, make sure to leave a like, comment, share, and subscribe, and let me know in the comment section below what you guys thought of this tutorial for our Battle Games in Middle-earth series. But thank you guys so very much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.